Alright, so we're back with another bullet review. Today we're reviewing the 105 RDF, Nosler's reduced drag factor. This is the lighter of the two RDFs in the Nosler 6mm/284 or 243 caliber lineup. This thing has an overall length of 1 1/4 inch. It has a sectional density of 0.254. Nosler has their advertised ballistic coefficient, with the G7 being at 0.57, or sorry, the G1 at 0.571 and the G7 at 0.280. I did true this bullet out to 1,300 yards. Got very good results, very good waterline impacts all the way out, and I got a G7 of 0.275, so very close to their 180. I was very impressed with that. And I got a G1 of 0.537, so it's actually quite a bit less. It's weird that it lined up in the G7 very close to their results, but in the G1 it was my true results were a little bit different. And I also will say, this is actually something else I was very surprised about. This was the very first time that I have shot a trued a bullet out of any of my bullets, and I use applied ballistics. And this is the first time after truing a bullet that I have had the app, their trued results from the Applied Ballistics app line up exactly with my trued results. So I feel really good about that. It's usually pretty close, but I always have to do some tweaking. And this time I absolutely did not. Everything lined up just right. Another thing about applied ballistics, that's why you'll also see, I think that's maybe why the G7 lined up very close to theirs. Applied ballistics works better using the G7. I'm not exactly sure why, but I've heard that from multiple people, and I've even heard it from Brian Litz that runs applied ballistics. So that may be why our results were so much closer to what Nosler got. So this thing has Nosler's what they call compound ogive. With, I think, all their RDF bullets have this compound ogive, which like I said with the 185 7mm RDF review, I do believe what they mean by the compound ogive is just that this thing has a slight variance. It's basically a secant ogive, so a very pointed ogive, but if you notice, it does have a little bit of radius to it. So I think they're saying that it's kind of a combination between a secant and a tangent ogive, tangent being the more rounded and secant obviously being the more pointed and aerodynamic ogives. And I think they've probably done that so that it will shoot. Usually a tangent ogive will shoot better across many different platforms. So you can load a tangent ogive, and in factory, you'll notice a lot of factory ammo has a tangent ogive. And because they load these RDFs, a lot of the times you can find Nosler's factory ammo with the RDFs. I think that's why they do that, so that it can chamber and shoot smoothly across many different platforms, since they're using it as a factory type ammo too, factory loaded type ammo too. If you're looking to shoot the 105 RDF and you shoot a 6mm Creedmoor, you can buy factory loaded Nosler match ammo for around $33 a box. It seemed to be about that price just about everywhere. So that is something, if you're not a hand loader, that you can do. You can still shoot this bullet. That's not a bad price at all for 30 rounds of 6mm Creedmoor. The boat tail is about the same angle as the ogive, which is something that I found on the 185 as well. This thing has a fairly long but not super long bearing surface. This also has Nosler's very, very nicely formed knee plats on these. Knee plats being the tip of the bullet, with all these RDFs, to me, and like I said in the 185 review, I think what they're doing is tipping these bullets at the factory. They all look very much like a tipped bullet, which just adds a little bit higher ballistic coefficient, uniforms the tip, and makes all your tips very consistent. So I really like that about these RDFs. Another thing I found about this 105 RDF, and I was pretty surprised about, is this has the exact same ogive as the 115. So the 105 and the 115 have the exact same ogive, and the way I know that to be true is from loading both bullets in my 6mm Creedmoor. I was able to I had the exact same free bore measurement with both bullets, so that tells me that the same place on the ogive is lining up in the exact same spot. So the ogive has to, and if you look at it, you can tell that it actually has the exact same measurement. So that is something I was pretty surprised about, and that's probably why these 105s have such a good ballistic coefficient, using the same ogive as the 115. The 115 actually is basically the exact same bullet, just a slightly longer bearing surface to add some weight. So this thing, being the 105, has no problem stabilizing in a 1 1/8 twist. I think that's kind of what they're ideal for, is a 1 1/8 twist 6mm. Another thing I will say about these, and it seemed to be true with with all the RDFs that I've tried so far, is these things are very node dependent. And what do I mean by that? I mean that if you're reloading this bullet, and reloaders will know what I mean with a node. A node is where a certain grain weight will shoot to. So these, I've found that, okay, most bullets, when you work up a load and you get to a really good load that's shooting very well, you'll find most of the time that when you get to that point, you'll have a very large space that you can load that bullet into. And what I mean is, like, it will shoot to the same point of impact from 42 to 42.8 grains. With these RDFs, I've found a 0.3 to 0.4 grain change, even at that sweet spot where they're shooting really well, will shoot to a completely different node. A lot of times loading these RDFs, I actually found that I was getting right on the edge of a node, and I would have two groups. So I'd shoot a 5-shot group, and a lot of times I would have 3 in one hole and 2 in another, and that happened multiple times while loading these RDFs and working up loads with them. And I would find that I would go up or down 0.1, 0.2, and it would drop me in either or node. So that's just something to think about. If you're looking for a bullet that you can work up a quick load for, the thing's going to shoot really well, these are probably not the bullets. What I mean is, these things, actually all the RDFs that I've loaded are capable, and I've gotten very good loads out of all of them, but they all have taken a little bit of work to get to that load that I was happy with, a sub half-minute load. With a lot of the other bullets, I can, just by going with what I know, I can get to that load a lot quicker. So that's something to think about. If you are the type of person that enjoys reloading, enjoys the art of it, and really solving the problems, this is definitely a bullet for you, because, and I'm not saying that you won't get that good load on the first try, but all the ones that I've tried, it's taken just a little bit of work to figure it out. But once I get there, they shoot absolutely phenomenal with a super high ballistic coefficient. If you're looking to buy some of these 105 RDFs, the item number is 53410. You should be able to punch that number into any place that you buy your reloading supplies online. Punch that into their search bar, and it should bring up, if they sell the 105 RDF, it should bring it up, and you should be able to find them for between $28 and $30 per 100. So very good price for such a high quality bullet. So this is my review of the 105 Nosler RDF. The 115 RDF will be coming up soon. So I hope if somebody was thinking about loading these, just give you a little bit of information on it. I'll see you guys next time. I'm out.